for the last or the second last video of the series. So it took almost like half an hour to 1 hour for all the machines to be completely replicated. You can see it's ready for testing. Okay, it says healthy, which means the data is actually getting synchronized. And this is my 4 source instances. We can just close it. I'm not shutting it down, but this is my jump box, and from there I am replicating the 4 servers, right? So these are the 4 servers which are good. I can go ahead and do a test launch, but before that I want to show you 2 things. One is I want to show you what's the option, what are the options that we have. If you open the source servers, you have the 4 servers that we are replicating. Open any of them, you can see there are 6 stages. Not ready is the time that it was replicating. Now the data is all synced 100% ready for testing, and then you run a test failover. It would be in test in progress, and once the test is successful, it's ready for cutover in progress, and cutover complete. So these are the 6 stages, but though it looks like 6 different stages, but if you see, it's like ready, not ready to ready, test failover, actual failover, and then once it is done, do the cutover. That's it. And you have all the other information about the host name, server info, how many CPUs, what's the CPU that is in use, what's the RAM, the device name, everything is here. And based on the CPU and RAM, it will create a C5 large. Everything else is self-explanatory, but what we need to focus on is the launch settings. Basically, from the size of the machine that we have replicated, AWS decides to go ahead and create one by itself, but I don't want to do that. I'll say instance right sizing. I'll just shut it down, and then I want to create a launch template. You have this easy to launch template. I'll just make a note of it because it can be a little confusing. So we are actually in this launch template stage. Okay, so the one that ends with 190 is actually for the Office DB. Okay, so I want to edit that. I can modify. I'm gonna give the name template version, and so here it says by default it will select C5 large. I wanted something else. I'll select C6A or something. Do we have one? C5A large, because it's slightly cheaper than the C5 large. Okay, I'll select C5A large, and here I can select what security groups. These are the things that we would have configured as part of the landing zone. During the before the migrate, there was a mobilize phase, right? So we actually need to go ahead and configure it. It would be in target private or public. Where do we configure this? I think it is in target. Just quickly checking the documentation here. Okay, it's target private, sorry. Only the jump box sits in public, everything else in target private. Okay, and security group, target security group. So these were something that you would have to create before you do the failover or before the replication is completed. Okay, I am going to just leave everything as it is, create a template version. Okay, so it's the 8BF90. Now where's this FB90? Now what happens is, you can see you can keep modifying this version multiple times. So the latest version, what I just configured, is version 3, but there you like tomorrow you might want to change the version. Like launch template, you can just keep adding newer features or newer settings. So I want modify the template, set the default version. I'll select 3. Perfect. Okay, now we have to go ahead and repeat the same thing. So we are done with F90. Now go here, select the second one, make the same change. off, save it, and modify, and modify. What server is this? It is off-base web. Give the name. I'll select C5A large. Same target private, and target security group. Leave everything else. Create it. It's D4, right? D4. Where is it? Yeah. I'm setting the default version. So when the launch template is used, I want the recent changes that I did to be the default one. Okay, we're done with the second one as well. Go ahead and do the same thing for the third server. WordPress, edit, no. Modify, modify. Same thing. Go change it. Now the last one, WordPress web. Okay, we are good. And 007. Perfect. That's it. Now we are done with the launch configuration for sure. Yeah. So replication settings first, we're done. Agent is installed. This one is completed. Now let's go ahead and do a test launch failover, and then the DNS cutover. That's it. No big deal. Select all four. Select testing, launch, test instances, and I'm going to hit launch. All the parameters that we configured as part of the replication or the launch template settings is going to be used. So as you can see, there are totally 7 machines that are running. Now I'm going to just refresh the page. Okay, there we go. You see there's another server called application migration service replication server. So this is actually the server that is actually used for the replication from source to the destination. So now you will have few more servers that are getting created, which are part of the test replication. Okay, so complete this testing and mark. Now I'll go to the launch history. Okay, job type is launch test instances. It started few seconds ago. If I just open it, I can see each and every stage. Okay, so started taking the snapshot. Now it will go ahead and create the machines. All of it can be viewed directly from here. It takes like at least 5 to 10 minutes. Nonetheless, we'll wait. Okay, maybe once it starts, go to the page 2. Okay, so you can see I started the failover. It took the snapshot of the data that was copied, finished the snapshot. Now the conversion, that snapshot must be converted into a virtual machine or EC2 instances. It has started, and there we go. All these are now from the replication server. You can see 4 conversion server. Okay, these 4 conversion servers will convert that snapshot into the actual machine. So these are all the staging side. Okay, so it's not completely replicated to the target. At the same time, the source is still running. So all these activities what we are doing are part of the staging activity. Okay, it says initializing. Can go up to 5 to 10 minutes. I do not have an option to pause the video, but the other reason is if something is broken, it's better that it breaks while I'm recording this, so that you can see how to troubleshoot and resolve the problem. Okay. So as you can see, it has finally launched the test cutover. The conversion, like the snapshot was converted, and now it's actually launching the instances. And all the newly launched instances must be C5A large, which we had selected. It was pending and now it's currently in progress. there's a lot of things happening here. I'll just keep the running machines. See, the cutover is something that takes approximately 10-15 minutes, and this is going to be your downtime as well. So if you're doing a production migration and to perform a cutover, we have to do it whenever there is a lean usage, because for the test, obviously nothing is going to be affected. For whatever I'm doing now, it's a test cutover. These machines will still be running, so there is no issues as such. If I just open my web browser and access that application, there's not going to be any downtime. It will still work because it's a test failover. Testing is without bringing down your actual usage. So the users can still go ahead and use the application without any problem. Both of it will work fine. But when we're doing the actual failover, not the test failover, that's when there will be a few minutes of downtime till the DNS cutover is completed. Okay, so it's still going on. What's happening? Maybe it's the first time that we're doing. It's almost 8 minutes since we started. Okay, while we're waiting for it, just to quickly recap, we had 4 servers, which are 2 web servers and 2 DB servers, and we installed the discovery service using these 3 commands and the username and password, and it took some time for capturing all the metadata of those servers. And then using this AWS Athena, we were able to run some sample queries to get the information from the S3 bucket, because all the data was stored in a packet file in S3. We ran some commands, then it was done. The next step was to install the migration service, which is migration agent. It's called application migration service, MGN. It is like the next version of Cloud Endure, because Cloud Endure did not have the real-time replication. It was first you take a snapshot and then it keeps synchronizing every few minutes, but now it replicates every few seconds. Same thing, we had to configure the replication settings, install the agent using the username and password that we had. I think it was here, right? Yeah. So this is the command to install the migration agent. So there were 2 things: replication agent or the discovery agent and the migration agent. So we've got to remember that. Like I said, this is a Python script, so the chances are you may experience an error message. You might encounter an error message when you run this if you don't have Python installed on your server. Okay, there's some progress. Successfully launched. It's good. Now let me just refresh the page. Perfect. I had 8 servers. Now I have 12 servers. These are the 4 newly created machines. Not this. Where is it? Oh yeah. So these are the 4 newly created machines. As you can see, they're all C5A large, and that's what I specified. And if you click on one of these machines, you can also see it's in the private target subnet, and it is also using the target security group. Everything that I had configured as a template got acquired here, or it just came in. Now the test launch is successfully done. You can see the machines are initializing, but we know for sure it's going to be working fine. There is no problem. I'll just wait for a few more minutes. Okay, great. Okay, so it's still starting. In the meantime, as you can see, the job has successfully ended. If you go to the launch history, it says completed all four. It was 12 minutes ago that started. It took 9 minutes for the instances to be created. So now, since as you can see, the cycle has changed from ready for test failover. Now it is test in progress. If I open one of them, you can see the bar has moved to from ready for testing to test progress. Now I'll just go ahead and start and then do a mark as ready for. So we are done with launch test instance. Next I'll just mark it. I'll say, do you want to terminate the launched instances? Yes. These machines, that four of these which got created, I don't need them. I can just terminate it because testing is complete. Let's assume it's if you want to test something, just log into these machines using the private IP address, test it. So that will take care of it. And okay, so I launched test, then terminated the test. It just started few seconds ago. Yeah, all four are ready for cutover. I'll not waste any time. In case if you find some problem, then you can just say revert to ready for testing. Otherwise, do the launch cutover. Okay, it says you cannot launch as some of the source servers does not exist or have a wrong cycle. Okay, maybe because they are still yeah, they still something is happening, or we're just waiting for the terminated the test instances to be terminated. So yeah, okay, the instances got terminated. Yeah, these you can see it's still shutting down and getting terminated. Now I'll just refresh. There we go. I go to the launch history. Just like how I launched the test instance, I'm launching the cutover instance because now there's nobody using my application. I am good to go ahead and delete, like I'm good to go ahead and fail over from my source to the destination. Again, it can take up to 9 to 10 minutes depending on the size of the machine. Just go here, check the log. Conversion started. Same process here, guys. If you just refresh, you'll have the replication server. Yeah, okay. Same thing, replication server, conversion server is the process for this also. 9 minutes. I'll be on mute. I'll wait for this process to be completed and then we can go ahead and make the DNS cutover. Mm-hmm. I think you're almost there. It's almost 8 minutes. Mm. Okay, not completed yet. Maybe in a minute or two. So this is what we have now. So we are creating 4 servers in the destination VPC, the source VPC, and we have replicated 4 servers. Now I'll be connecting to these 4 servers from a bastion host, changing the DNS on all the 4, and then we will try to access the same application to check if it works. Okay. Okay. There we go. That's 3 are ready. 1 is in progress. 12 machines. Great. And these are the 4 machines. that we have. The one that did not have MID are the migrated machines. If you go and open any of the source machine, they're in source VPC, which starts with 192. If you go to the new ones, which are the destination, it's a completely different network that starts with 10. Hence, these 4 machines were copied from source to the destination. Now, we may have to wait for a few minutes until these are 2:2 or 2/2, all checks passed and running. But anyways, these machines are running, right? So we can go to our jump box and make a note of the private IPs of these 4 instances. 10.0.1.200, which is, what machine is this? OffBizDB. Excuse the typos. The next machine is 10. It is OffBizWeb. IPS 10.0.1.93. WordPress web is 195.225. Okay, so these are the 4 new IP addresses: WordPress web, and WordPress DB. Okay, so now we'll have to connect to these 4 machines using the putty. Okay, I'm logged in. Okay. Right, now we have the 4 machines: 2 to 5, 2 to 5, 2 to 5. All right. Great. Okay, so we have the same 4 machines that were created, right? Like the newly created machines. Now we need to shut down the 4 servers that you don't need. Because we have migrated it. So these 4 machines, you can just shut it down: WordPress DB, WordPress web, OffBizDB, and OffBizWeb. You can just select these and stop the instances. Okay, so this is the actual cutover process. Now once this is shut down, you need to log into each of these machines to update the new DNS, and the command for that is this. So you're just adding the address host name to the newly updated IP. Yeah. Okay, so we're good. Now I want to just retry the same website and check if it still loads fine. No, it says it can't reach the page. What could be the possible reason? The reason could be the server is still coming up. It's not, all the servers are not completely ready. Okay, so now if I just refresh it, okay, so now they are good. All the machines are ready. Maybe I'll just give it few minutes. It still goes to the same. There we go. It's loading. Now, I'm just gonna copy the second application. Run it. No, not that. It's working. There we go. Yep, I'm back into my applications. WordPress is working. My Office application is working, even though my source servers are switched off. Now all the four servers are running in a different network. Let's consider this as a cloud, and I'm still able to access my application with 10 minutes of downtime, because I had to shut down the source and I had to just do a cutover here. And now it's much faster because I'm running it on a much bigger or a better machine. C5A large is a bigger machine than the T3 medium and T3A, T3 small. So the performance will also be far better than what it was before. That's why it's much faster. So that's it on the migration. So we have completely migrated the servers on AWS. Now all we have to do is just go ahead and do the, like, go to the source servers, and it says cutover is in progress. Okay, it says finalize cutover, and two of the machines got stalled, but technically it did not. Everything went well, right? So I'll just go ahead and do a test. I'll cutover is in progress, finalize cutover, and I say everything is good. All the four machines are launched, and you can stop the replication. And that's finally, just go ahead and disconnect from the service. First you mark it as archive. Okay, the service prevent from being shown in the server list. Okay, I'll just say disconnect from the service first. Disconnected, and I'll go ahead and archive it. That's how you successfully migrate your on-prem servers to AWS. But this is just access, mobilize, and migrate. But if you want, now that you have migrated everything to AWS, you can also go ahead and modernize it. So you have a DB that is running on the server, go ahead and move it to RTS in case if you want to, so that you can just do away with these servers. So that's one suggestion that I have. So thank you. I know this one is the lengthiest of all, but I'm glad that we were able to cover everything in one. So yeah, test launch is done, actual cutover is done, and we have also performed the DNS and tested the application functionality. So the migration is successfully on-prem to AWS. Okay, thank you once again, and I'll see you in another video some other time. Bye.